Hey there! Remember when I said this was supposed to be a monthly podcast? Don't worry, me neither. Welcome to Dave Time Episode 4, the long-awaited one that I've been putting off making since November of 2020. Jesus Christ. God, it has been so long. It's been almost 3 years since the last episode came out. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? It's been a while since I've touched this channel, especially considering the fact that the last video I uploaded just glitched out and had no sound at all. Shout out to YouTube for that one. I'm just too lazy to fix it at this point. Maybe I'll delete it, maybe I won't, I don't know. Yeah, hey, how you doing? But yeah, it has been a while. I got a job that I've been working for like the past year or so now. It could be better, could be worse. I mean, it's definitely not the worst job that I've had, but it has been keeping me away from this channel and just, I don't know. It's between the job and that and the fact that I just haven't really been motivated to create stuff, really. So why am I bringing this back, you might ask? Well, that's a good question. Number one, boredom. B, because I've been noticing a lot as of late that YouTube, at least for me, I don't know if this is the case for anyone else, although I imagine it probably is, since I've had friends tell me this too, that recently YouTube has been suggesting channels, like really small channels, like channels that at most probably have like 1,000 subs, and videos that have like maybe a little less than 100 views or so. So with that in mind, I'm partially hoping that maybe that by releasing this, maybe I can capitalize on that a little bit. And the third reason for me bringing this back is because my friends keep begging me for whatever reason to bring this podcast back. I don't know why. It's not even really that great of a show to begin with anyway. But you know, here we are. I'm doing it now. You bastards. Are you happy? Are you happy? Yeah, Hugo? Yeah, Hugo, I'm talking to you. Is that commute to your job a lot better now because I'm talking to you now? Not even really talking to you. You know what I mean. Are you happy now? God. See? But yeah, so yeah, this is the fourth episode of Dave Time. I hope you enjoy it. These recordings, this first recording is being recorded on May 26th, 2023. And how long these will go, I have no idea. We'll just have to see how long I'll be able to, we'll have to see how long I'm able to, I'll have to think of topics, and I'll record entries to this episode depending on how inspired I feel. I don't want to force myself to, I guess that's the thing. I don't want to force myself to constantly do a thing, especially if I just don't necessarily feel like doing that thing. So, as a result, there's a chance that this podcast might come out far less frequently than it used to. Not that it really came out that frequently to begin with anyway, but, you know, it is a thing. I'm sorry if you hear my pen clicking, I'm just fidgeting a lot. I don't know. As you can tell, I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here, you know? I don't really have any real point to this, other than, I guess, to welcome you to this fourth episode. Again, I'm just shooting from the hip here, not really sure where that shot's gonna land, but I'm hoping it lands well. So, yeah. Anything else I want to talk about before I stop this, intro? Yeah, I guess not. Enjoy the episode, and, have fun and don't die, I guess. And, enjoy the show. So, disclaimer, parts of this episode was recorded using my phone, and another part was used using my, actual microphone on my computer. So, apologies for inconsistencies in sound quality, but, sometimes it's just easier to record out in my car alone with my phone. Hope you understand, and sorry if this causes any inconvenience. Thank you!
Okay, so I just got off of work. It's currently 9:30 at night. By the time I get back home, it'll probably be 10:30, because even though my commute is like 45 minutes long, it somehow turns into an hour when I'm going back home. I don't know why, even though I take the exact same route, but whatever. And then, as soon as pretty much as soon as I get home, I'm probably gonna go almost straight to bed. Because, I'm, granted absolutely no free time these days during the week, almost. It's a part-time job that I'm working, but honest to God, it doesn't really feel like that sometimes, kind of a weird... I don't even know if I'd even really call it a fantasy. It's more of I don't know. Lately, I've been toying with the idea of just inhaling. It mostly involves inhaling some kind of chemical, and then just put myself in a coma for just an indeterminate amount of time. And before anyone freaks out or anything, no, this isn't me trying to be, I don't know, this isn't some thinly veiled suicide. No, I'm not gonna hurt this isn't me wanting to hurt myself or anything. It's literally me just peacefully just putting myself into a coma and just, it could be for a few weeks, a few days, maybe, I don't know, maybe not a few days. I feel like I'd need more than a few days, for being perfectly honest, but a few months, few weeks, hell, a few years, I just need, time to just slumber. And in that time, any sort of fear, any anxieties that I might have going on at the time, just drift the fuck away. And I am just a rock. I am on my own island. And I am just fucking sleeping, I'm getting animated. I'm trying to make sure I'm in my car, by the way. So I'm literally in the parking lot at my workplace recording this. So yeah, basically I'd be in this coma. Again, could be months, years, whatever. And then by the time I wake up, I am ready to take on the fucking world, dude. That's what I want. I just want to sleep for an amount of years, and then when I wake up, it'll be at a time that's just right, and I will be absolutely set. I will be fucking ready to go. That's sort of what I've been thinking about a lot lately. That would be pretty sweet if I'm being totally honest with you. Of course I probably would have to find a way. Of course this would probably have to count, I gotta keep, I gotta keep the body energized even in a comatose state, I don't know what they do for actual people in comas. I think they, inject, food through, a tube or something? Something like that. Do they do it through the mouth or through the veins? I would imagine they have to do it through the mouth, right? Because, if they do it in the veins, I think, that would kill you, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm not a medical expert or anything. But, who gives a fuck? It's a fantasy. I don't know. I don't really like using the term fantasy because it just makes it sound weird. I think it's just more of I don't know what I call it. Just I guess a vision. Maybe that works better. A vision that I have for myself. That probably works a lot better. And, you know, like, God. Yeah, yeah, and then, you know, by the time I wake up, I'm like, all good to go, all that stuff, and then maybe I just never have to do it again. That'd be, you know, like, even if it was just, like, one time I could do this, that would be absolutely super beneficial to me, if I'm being totally honest. Just wake up, have not really a care in the world, ready to do any and everything. Just let me go, you know? Yeah, man, I'm tired. Fuck. Yeah. I just have a question to ask anyone in the audience generally. Is it bad that, like, is it bad that the most time, like, the time where I've been the most, like, legitimately, like, comfortable both with myself as well as my surroundings is when I'm about to go to sleep, or rather when I'm in bed, just sleeping in general. I know I just talked about the whole, like, putting myself into a coma thing as, like, you know, as, like, a thing, but, you know, like, it's just getting, I don't know, should I, like, be concerned that I feel this way? Maybe this is a weird bit of vulnerability I'm showing right now. You know, like, I don't know, when I'm like awake and I'm at work, or even if I'm not even at work, even if I'm just doing stuff around the house or whatever, like, I just feel tense and stressed, you know, like, I just don't, I don't know, maybe this is just an anxiety thing, I don't know, it probably is just that. I don't know. I don't like taking medication for this sort of stuff because I've always had a bad track record with prescribed medication. Not even just for, like, anxiety and shit like that, but just, you know, in general. I was just never able to do it well with most things. I don't know. Is this just me venting at this point? I'm not even sure. What is this podcast even becoming right now, honestly? Am I just screaming into the void? Like, why am I even bringing this back? Is it because is it because I thought it would be a good idea to bring it back? Or because I feel like I have to, because otherwise, like, who else is going to hear my fucking insane... Well, not even... I'm not insane. Sort of. Maybe not yet, anyway. I don't know. To give myself sort of a sense of sort of importance. What the fuck am I even talking about right now, dude? God, now I'm getting pissed off. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, fuck me, dude. Oh. Oh, man. I don't know, like, maybe I am just screaming into the void. Maybe that's all of this is, you know? I mean, who else is gonna hear it? Like, you know, I mean, assuming I don't end up deleting this channel for some reason, like, these are gonna stick around, probably, you know, long after, you know, after I'm long gone. People are, you know, maybe like 20, 30, 40, shit, maybe 50, 60 years from now. Hell, maybe 100 years from now. You know, maybe they'll find these and think, wow, this guy sounded really neat. Or conversely, this guy sounds like a fucking idiot. Why did he think it would be a good idea to start his own podcast? And honestly, for the latter half, they'd probably be correct in making that assumption. You know, I don't really know what this show is for, basically. I started this whole channel as like sort of a side project for me to do to prevent me from going insane during the pandemic. It's, that was back in 2020. It's 2023 now. I'm older. I'm maybe a little slower. I'm just I don't know. My brain no work is. Although I mean, my brain's never really worked properly. Let's be real. I don't know what this is doing here. Why even am I even doing this now? What's even the point for anything? Sorry if you heard that bike go by. I'm in my car. I literally just got out of work and I decided to record this. I don't even really particularly know why. This probably sounds like sour grapes. I'm not even in that bad of a mood, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know. I hope people don't get, freaked out by this or whatever. This isn't me having, some sort of weird breakdown or anything. I hope that's not what it sounds like, because I'm not. At least, I don't think I am. I mean, hey, look. You know what? This podcast is meant for me to be vulnerable, alright? And maybe I am just feeling a little vulnerable right now. You know? I mean, what the hell am I doing? I keep asking myself that. What the hell am I doing? Fucking story of my life.
Back and listen to that last entry I just did, and it's funny when it's funny because when I was recording that, I legitimately thought I was having some sort of weird breakdown. Listening to it back now, it's a lot more tamer than I thought it was. But it's, I don't know, it did still kind of come from a real place. I'm just still, I don't know, I've been dealing with a lot of just personal anxiety as of late for a variety, well, not even for variety, but for reasons. But I don't really know if I want to get into that right now, just because I don't want to work myself up. I understand, again, like I said, I understand this is meant for me to be vulnerable, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to be super vulnerable quite yet. This is only a 4-episode long thing, and even then, I don't even release them that frequently. So, I'm not really sure if I have... Well, I mean, no, I have the right to be vulnerable, but I just don't know... I don't know. In a weird way, it feels like I have to earn it in a way. You know what I mean? God, it feels like... This has almost become a second wing of therapy for me. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be perfectly honest. Man... I don't know. I keep, at night, I'll have, all of these, thoughts that'll just swirl through my head, and I'm like, man, I gotta get these on, the pod, and then, I'll just fail to write them down, or worse yet, I'll just forget entirely of, what they were, but honestly, most of the time, it's just super depressing anyway. Who would want to listen to that? Which... Shit, now I'm kind of questioning the existence of this podcast again. I don't know. I've never been and if you've listened to previous episodes, you know that I'm not good at, speaking on the fly, shooting from the hip sort of thing. I've never really been good at that. I'm not Bill Burr. I don't know if, I've listened to Bill Burr's podcast, and, that guy's good at just, I don't know, he's good at just talking for, an hour. I kind of wish I had that ability, honestly. I guess you kind of hone that when you're a comedian. Because, your whole job is to stand on stage and tell jokes for, a certain amount of time. I actually did think about getting into stand-up for a little bit when I was in college, but I probably would have sucked at it, let's be real. You know, there was a lot of things that I thought about doing while I was in college that didn't really work out that great. You know what, that's not even specifically a college thing, that's just a thing for me in general. Everything I think I want to do that I think would sound cool, I just sort of toss aside and be like, it would probably end up sucking somehow anyway. You know. The only thing that didn't really seem to fall into that for some reason is this YouTube channel, although I kind of have to put an asterisk in front of that because, you know, it's just barely I just decided to not, like, completely scrap it. I almost deleted this channel at some point because I was just like, I don't know, I feel like I need a reset, but even if I reset it, I don't even know if I'd even make another channel, you know? I just don't really have a whole lot of confidence in myself when it comes to, like, wanting to do things and trying new stuff. You know, it's just one of those things that I've dealt with since I got out of high school, and I just haven't been able to really fix. Maybe I'll never fix it. Maybe this is just sort of maybe I'm just sort of meant to be like this, you know? Like, not really have any real idea of what to do with themselves, and have no real purpose. Just, you know, work till I die, I guess. You know, get money, get money, get money, get money, get money. It's the principle of life nowadays. Yeah. I think another reason as to why I've been, like, so irritable as of late is because, like, I've been trying to diet lately, and the thing with me is that I've always been, like, a very, very picky eater throughout the majority of my life, and as a result, you know, trying new things is hard, and I'll admit, I've never had the best eating habits in the world. In fact, thank God for my high metabolism, otherwise I'd be probably like 500 pounds by now. Seriously. But like, you know, and I think as a result of that, I've just been much more irritable. Not really towards other people, but mostly towards myself. Because I don't know, I've always been sort of a people pleaser at heart. I don't really like to upset people. I always hated confrontation. So, you know, I think as a result, I just sort of more or less take it out on myself. And then, like, and then it just kind of builds up, and that leads to other problems. See what I mean? This whole podcast is turning into therapy. Summertime therapy, this whole thing is. Christ. Like, I don't... it's just... I don't know. Now I'm just trying to find things to say. See what I mean? This is why... Again, Bill... I need to take lessons from, like, Bill Burr on how to, like, just talk out of my ass for, like, an hour. If I could just learn to do that, I could be putting out... honest to God, if I learned how to do that, this podcast would be weekly. I'm not even kidding. Like, this would absolutely be a weekly podcast if I could just do it all in one go and just spit, like, a whole bunch of shit out in, like, an hour. That, like, honestly, like, if I could just do that, I would be more than happy with the output of this show. But, you know, I can't really do that for a variety of reasons. Mostly because I think deep down I just kind of know I'm sort of an uninteresting person. So, you know. Man. I don't know. I mean, I could talk about interests I have, although I don't know how many people would want to hear about that. You all want to hear me talk about pro wrestling? Because I could talk about that. I don't know how many of you would actually listen, but I could do that. You know, I could talk about... I don't know. I could talk about... I mean, I guess I could talk about video games, since that seems to be more of a universal thing on YouTube. You know, even if you don't play games, you probably watch at least some flavor of gaming content, whether you realize it or not. So, you know, there's that. You know, I guess that kind of goes to show you how oversaturated the whole gaming sphere is on this website. Uh, so maybe no, that'd be stupid. I mean, I got a Steam Deck recently. I've been playing a bit with that. Got some games on it. I've been playing Celeste, which is a game that I've had in my, I've had Celeste in my Steam library for ages, but I've never actually got around to playing it until I actually got my Steam Deck. It's actually a really good game. Like, you know, people like to joke online, it's like, oh, it's the hidden gem, but unironically, like, I'm having a really good time with it, honestly, even if I keep dying on certain parts over and over and over and over again, although I guess that's kind of the point. On one of the loading screens, it literally says, like, oh, be proud of your death count, you're learning. Which, unironically, kind of made me feel a little better about my death count, because it's probably not the worst compared to other people, but it's like in the hundreds, you know? If you played Celeste, you probably know what I'm talking about, but, you know. So yeah, I mean, I've got that. I could talk about my Steam Deck, even though I've only had it for, like, a couple weeks. You know. Maybe I don't know. I'm not good at this, which kind of... I don't know. I gotta find a way to end this segment. I've been going nearly 10 minutes, and I feel like I've hardly even said anything. I guess the point of I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is that I don't know what exactly it is I'm doing. I don't know what it is I don't know what I'm doing most of the time that I'm alive. I feel like I'm just sort of more or less on autopilot most of the time, and, you know, I don't really have any sort of, you know, it is kind of hard to, like, you know, it can be kind of hard to find, like, motivation to actually be, like, human sometimes when you don't really have any real motivation outside of, like, oh, well, you know, having money would be nice, you know? I mean, that's cool. Yeah. Maybe I should just... I guess I could find a purpose, but, you know, that's easier said than done. I used to thought I had a purpose, until, you know, that kind of just blew up in my face, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, you know, maybe I should just call my therapist soon. I don't know. So this next segment I literally recorded while lying in bed. So if the audio is a little bit quiet and you might hear some rustling, I'll try my best to sort of, you know, make it legible, and you know, hopefully it's not too terrible to listen to. But I just thought it was important for you guys to hear, so I'm gonna keep it in as is. Apologies in advance if it sounds a little wishy-washy at times, but I think it's at least important to hear. So here it is. It is Thursday, June 29th, 2023. 2 days ago, on June 27th, I officially turned 26 years old. Every year that passes, I get kind of scared, man. I don't like getting older. It's funny because, like, as a kid, you'd always sort of look forward to, you know, your birthday and whatever, because, you know, presents, and, you know, you get to invite your friends over and whatever, and, you know, it was all well and cool then. But, as I get into my 20s and slowly but surely begin to crawl towards my 30s, I don't really have that same excitement. In fact, that excitement just sort of turned into dread. Because I know what's in store.
each and every year, you know, I get a little older, a little slower. My faculties, subtly or not, just sort of begin to decline. And all of this culminates when I get into my 80s, 90s, or God, somehow hundreds. And, you know, I just sort of become this broken down, just like my body just becomes almost useless. I've heard someone explain that being old or getting older is a series of losses, and I kind of the older I get with each day that passes, I start to agree with that more and more and more. You know, uh, it's just this past year I dealt with 2 deaths in my family. Up until the age of 25, I've never been to a funeral. And, you know, within a 6-month period, I lost both my maternal and paternal grandmothers. And, you know, this is just how it's gonna be, sort of, you know? Like, that's just the thing I'm afraid of. I get older, and I watch the older people around me just sort of go. It's sort of been giving me sort of an existential, well, not even, both existential and internal crisis. And it's, you know, I don't think it'll ever fix itself. I've heard some people say, oh, well, you know, getting older is a nice thing. You know, like, you know, like, there's benefits. I can't really name them off the top of my head, but they say that there's benefits. I just don't really see them right now, if ever. You know, I'm not really getting any younger here. I'm just, you know, it's just frustrating because I just feel like there's nothing really in life really worth looking forward to in the big picture of things. I mean, sure, I can work a job, get money, play video games, go to wrestling shows. I don't know, drink myself to death. I mean, I don't drink. I don't drink at all, in fact, but, you know, I have the choice to do those things. But, you know, doesn't really help the inevitable feeling of, like, I'm just gonna start falling apart at the seams by the time I hit. God, it could be tomorrow. Who knows? Nothing's really guaranteed. It's it's just rough. It's just rough because, like, this is just something that's been constantly on my mind for, like, at least almost a year now. Well, it's been on my mind for a while. Like, even when I was like 18, 19 years old, I was almost dreading kind of getting into my 20s. And then when I was 21, I kind of was a little shell shocked at turning 22, and then 23, and then once I hit 25, I'm like, oh no, like, this is starting to get real. And now I just turned 26 like a couple of days ago, and I'm like, shit, now I'm on the wrong side of 25. I'm like, I think I'm a half century. Is it half a century? I was never that good at math. But yeah, I mean, if my math is to be believed, I'm about a half century years old. And that prospect scares the ever-living shit out of me, if I'm being completely honest. You know, I feel like I'm constantly just running out of time to just do the stuff that I want to do. You know, it's just like, you know, between just general stuff that I want to do to, like, you know, like, I was watching this documentary the other day about Bam Margera, you know, the skateboarder jackass guy. Um, you know, like, when he was a kid, you know, he would just like get together with his friends and like just take out like his home video camera and just like record themselves skating and just doing dumb little skits throughout their suburban Pennsylvania neighborhood. And I'm like, man, that is so cool. Like, I kind of wish. I mean, I guess I kind of did that. Although, yeah, when I was a kid, I used to film myself doing stuff like But fortunately, those tapes will never see the light of day because from what I remember from them, they would be cringy as hell, and I do not want anything to do with them. But yeah, just like I admire that sort of spirit that some people have, and it honestly kind of makes me upset that I just never really had that sort of artistic spirit that a lot of other people seem to have. It was just always a thing that bugged me. Like, I always felt like I always wanted to create things, but I could just never do it. And the older I get, I feel like the harder it'll be to really sort of achieve those things. Um, again, I'm not getting any younger. I still live with my parents. I don't really have a whole lot going for me socially, really. At least in terms of my real life. I just don't. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who just doesn't really have a whole lot going on. I'm just that guy you just sort of see on the street and think, you probably don't even think much of him. At most, you might think, oh, nice hair or nice shirt, and then move on with your day, probably. And then, maybe this is just sort of a selfish thing, but I was kind of hoping there would be a point in my life where I'd be a bit more recognized for more than that. Maybe this is a bit of narcissism on my end. I think everybody in life, to a certain degree, whether they realize it or not, is narcissistic to some level. It really just depends on how you express that. If that makes any sense. I don't know. It's just, I'll have like all of these grand ideas, or at least some things that I think are grand ideas, and then I just sort of get depressed because I'll never do them. Like, I honestly just kind of get a little sad, like watching like a good movie. Like a little while back, I watched the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and say what you will about Chris Pratt, but Star-Lord is cool. I would have loved to have been able to play a guy like Star-Lord. Are you kidding me? Like, I would have loved that. I'll probably never do it, but it would be really cool if I could, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like now, like, when I watch stuff like that, it just makes me sad in, like, a weird sort of way, because, like, oh, I'll never get to do that. My brain is just too broken, and I'm not... time isn't on my side, and that kind of sucks. So, what are we going to do about it? Who knows? Hey, I just bought a Steam Deck. Let's just sit back and play some Smash Brothers hacks, since that's the thing that I've been doing. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Super Smash Brothers mods, particularly the Akanea build and for the Akanea build for Melee, and Smash Remix for Smash 64. Both are really good. I would highly recommend checking them out, but I digress. Point is, I hate myself. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, recently I've been having this thought that, like, at my high school reunion, like, assuming I even decide to go to it, I don't even think I would even go. Mostly just because I've always been sort of afraid about what people would think of me. Like, I deleted Facebook a long time ago because I was like, well, I deleted it during the pandemic because I realized that, like, all I'm just gonna see is people's, like, social successes, and, like, social and life successes, and I'm just not gonna be able to relate to it, and it's just gonna make me upset. So I deleted it, and frankly, I don't really regret that. But you might be saying, oh, well, Dave, like, they're just posting the highlights. They don't actually, like, do that kind of stuff all the time. And that might be true to some degree, but what if you're one of those people who just aren't able to share any highlights at all? And that's me. I'm one of those people. I don't really have any highlights to show. I don't have anything going on. I'm not making boatloads of money and backpacking across Europe or something like that. I'm just a guy who's still stewing in his childhood bedroom. I'm a loser, basically. And the point I'm trying to make here is that getting old sucks. Plus, I think it would be funny if, I think it would be funny if the people that I did go to high school with thought I was, like, dead or something. It'd at least be kind of funny. I mean, I'm not dead, but it'd be funny if they thought I was. I don't know.
And with that, that was Dave Time episode 4. So yeah, that's it. The grand return. It has happened. Sorry for the long wait. I know it's only been 3 years, but, hope it was at least worth it. I'm hoping maybe, if I'm up for it, maybe I can release these more, I don't want to set myself to a certain time, because I realize now that I'm just lazy. So, I figured I'd just release these when, I feel like it. I'll record stuff when I feel like it, and I don't want to, like, rush myself, and, they'll come out when they come out. I don't want to really make this a monthly thing. Maybe this could be, like, a big special thing. Just 45 minutes or so of me just screaming into the void that'll pop into your inbox, your subscription inbox every once in a while, and you can be like, wow, he uploaded again. Look, he uploaded. Yay! I don't know. I doubt people ever even get that excited for these freaking videos. But, yeah. I'll see you next time for episode 5, or something. Probably episode 5. Maybe I'll upload something else, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Probably it'll just be episode 5. Assuming... No, I have a feeling there's going to be an episode 5. I think there definitely can be an episode 5 eventually. We'll see. I think we'll definitely see it. But yeah, thanks for listening / watching, and I will see you guys on the other side. I don't know how to do an outro. I don't know. I'll this is an outro. Yay! Goodbye. Subscribe, and I guess I'll see y'all later. Again, I really do not know how to do outros. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?